So for a while, I was debating on whether or not I should make a spring season recap or not, just because of how poorly it went for me. But after a bunch of like self-reflection and stuff, it's probably a good idea for me to just share my thoughts and you know hopefully be able to learn from this experience and take that into sophomore year. Hopefully, have a more successful year than this year. A wise friend once told me, the second mouse gets the cheese. And like, you could write that off as just like a rebuttal to, the famous phrase, the early bird gets the worm. But, um, it's like, it's actually much more nuanced than that. What if that early bird was going for the worm and that worm actually turned out to be the tail of like a snake or something, and that John just gets eaten by a snake, Wouldn't it be that bird? It's not like I'm averse to taking risks or anything, but you can't just like blindly take risks. You can't just be going like putting all your eggs into one basket and then like when that one basket bursts open, expect not to be like utterly disappointed and devastated. Don't live your whole life following behind another person, because obviously like that might not even be an option open to you, and that's not a really fulfilling way to live your life. Like, don't be like observing them from a distance, but maybe like you're side by side with this first mouse, and like you're emulating their good actions, and like learning from their mistakes and stuff like that. Like, if they get caught by the trap, I might take a couple hefty nibbles before I go and help them out of the trap. uh, and if he successfully grabs the cheese, I'm a negotiate with him. I'm like, I've been with you this whole time. I'm there if you ever fall in the trap. Maybe you could hand me some of that cheese. So in a way, being the second mouse, that's how you should live your life. And I mean, not to mention the third mouse. The third mouse is the mouse watching from the distance. Like, me and the first mouse have already eaten like all the cheese, and all that's left for that third mouse is taking up the crumbs. And like fourth mouse and like all the rest of them, they don't even get the cheese, man. Like, the cheese is already gone by the third mouse. So it's kind of a metaphor to like not not live life like observing from a distance, never acting, but it's also like not blindly leaping forward and taking risks like blindly, right? It's sort of like the harmonic like in between the two extremes. And sometimes like it's not even bad to be that first mouse. Sometimes it's good for you to be both the first mouse and the second mouse. Like, maybe you get your tail caught in the trap. Just, maybe it hurts a lot to like rip it off, but in the end, you come back stronger and you learn more, and you do get that cheese in the end. So yeah, guess let's dive into this recap. All right, y'all. So welcome to the spring season recap. So over here, I have my training log. Um, Same as the other videos. So like the date, like distance of the day, running time, comments on the day, ancillaries, sleep of the night before, resting heart rate, and effort level on the day. So, and then over here I got my Strava pulled up, so you can have like some more details of how the runs were looking like, and like the maps of the routes I ran. Just a little more detail. So this is the okay. So first thing I want to talk about is I only had 3 days off after indoor. So as you can see, indoor ended like early March, right? And then outdoor starts like pretty much right away. And outdoor doesn't last that long. Like, I think it's only like 2 months long, and I only ended up racing 4 times outdoors. So I had to sort of like make the most. I couldn't like take too long off, or else I feel like I would lose some fitness. But also like kind of looking back on it, maybe it was a mistake, and maybe I should have taken at least a week off before I started, really going at it again. So that's something to definitely learn from for next year. And yeah, okay, let's just jump into it. So first day back, 7 miles. I guess with Landon. That was a fun day. Max clinch, if you know, you know. Okay, next day we did 10. Oh yeah, we ran over to Tufts to watch Dylan, and we watched Dylan qualify for indoor nationals. Okay, long run with Nate. Went to Fresh Pond and came back through Fenway. So like 10. So shakeout on Monday. Or I guess like a shuffle, and then Tuesday, a little shakeout before the workout later today. Later that day, I guess. Okay, so the workout was 2 miles and then 4 by mile at LT. And then 4x2 at 31. I didn't say who I ran it with, but I think yeah, from what I remember, it was a pretty good workout. And one more thing, this outdoor season, I decided to up my volume a little bit from indoor just because I felt really good at where I was, and I just wanted to up it a little bit. In hindsight, maybe not such a great idea. So yeah. Okay, next day, 7 in the morning, and then 8 in the afternoon. So for a total of like 15 on the day. Next day, 7 in the morning, and then 7 in the afternoon. So on Thursdays, I started implementing like a slower second double just to like kind of recover myself, not to put too much load in the body, and just to get ready for the workout on Friday. So that's why I started doing these slower runs with the long sprinters, White and Clark. Yep. And then Saturday, a 3 mile shakeout in the morning, and then let's see, 9 by K in the afternoon. Yeah, seemed like a pretty solid workout again. And then after the 9 by K, it was a 6-4 2x2. Cutting down. Seems like it went well for me. And then the Saturday, a couple of my teammates were in town for New Balance, so I met up with Justin and showed him around Cambridge for a little bit. So pretty dope. Okay, and then Saturday, or Sunday, did a long run. Long run with Nate. Looks like Nate, Mike, and Ren. And then went to church, so pretty great Sunday. 4 shuffle on Monday. Wait, let's see this long run. Hopefully it loads. Seems like I kind of went for it a little bit. Yeah, so I definitely progressed. Started around 7:30s, then came down to 7 flats, and then for the last like 3-ish miles, took it down to like 6 flat, down to like 5:40. So honestly, a great long run. I'm feeling great at this point in the year. Okay, Tuesday, I guess I did not. Yeah, okay. Tuesday, I did not do a shakeout in the morning. We just had a 5 mile tempo, and then 8K 12 2x2. Oh yeah, so I had a algorithms test that day, and I had to do it early before the test, and it was super windy, but got it done. Okay, and then Wednesday was just a 7-7 double, or a 7-8 double. And then I started implementing this like isometric routine also into my week. Basically just doing a mixture of like cores, like lunge, like holding a lunge, wall sits, stuff like that. just to get myself a little bit stronger and more stable. Thursday was a 7-7, and then did with the same group. The second 7 was with the long sprints, just to keep it chill. Okay, and then Friday, people were at indoor nationals, so we had to do our own workout, I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, no, no. No, that's right, because um, spring break was starting, so I just did my long run. Or I guess like a workout long run ish thingy. Like a steady long run as a workout. And then we're back home um, with the high school guys for 10 on Saturday. Then a long run on my own at Peace Valley, did 5 sig, and then came into the park and did a loop inside the park. Seems like I was pushing a little bit. Let's see. Oh yeah, definitely. So if you don't know 5 sig, it's just basically 5 significant hills within a 10-mile loop, and then the park's like somewhat flat, and it seems like I picked it up quite a bit. Um, so yeah. Then following the Monday, did 5 shuffle. And then the workout on Tuesday was a 4x2 mile at LT, and I did that on the treadmill. I think this was because it was like super hot out or something like that. Um, and then yeah. Then Wednesday, 8 miles in the morning, 7 miles in the afternoon. Oh yeah, my toes started hurting after that treadmill workout, so not great. Okay, Thursday, 7 and 7, calm double. Okay, Friday did a 6 by mile workout at the high school track, alternating LT and 10K effort. Okay, then 10 super easy on the treadmill. And yeah, I could definitely feel my legs hurting quite a bit, like starting this week. So yeah, I could feel like my body's starting to sort of like come apart. Um, okay, then flew back to Boston, did the long run there, just a steady 16. This is a great route, by the way. You go do Fresh Pond, then you finish on Short Docks. 3 shake on Monday. Then Tuesday, did, I guess, 3 shake on Tuesday. So 6 mile tempo, and then 6.54. Felt good, apparently. Then just another 7-8 double, and then a 7-7 double. And then Friday, 3 shake in the morning, and then 3 by K at LT and 2K at 10K. All off 90 seconds rest. I remember it was super windy that day, and I was literally doing the workout by myself. For the 2Ks, I hit 6:12, 6:11, and then 6:09. So pretty much 3:05. So like my goal 10K pace, which was sub 31 basically. Yeah. The next 6 and 6 double for Saturday, just to lighten the load a little. And then Sunday, did 16 easy. A little summer docks action. This time you do up through Harvard to Fresh Pond, and then do long docks instead of short docks. It's also 16, which is pretty cool. 3 chill, 3 shake, and this next workout, 4 by mile at LT, and then 3-3, 2-2, sort of like a race tune-up. Yep. And then 10 easy since I didn't wake up. Yeah, I didn't get enough sleep that night, so I didn't wake up for the double. And then 6 for pre-meet. It says my legs were tired and I didn't get good sleep again, so pretty bad. Um, 3 shake for the race day, and this was Providence 5K, so not great, not great at all. I was trying to go like 70s for the whole race, but it just didn't pan out like I wanted it to. Um, it was super cold that day, super windy. And yeah, I was honestly just out in the cold too long. And then when the race happened, I was like the last race, and they squeezed like 40 of us into one heat. So I was practically running in the outside lanes for like most of the race. And yeah, also dealing with some personal issues. So just like so many things, but you know, it just didn't pan out 15-15. Pretty disappointing. So the warm up cool down. Then Saturday 8-7 double with Tim and Jared. Then 16 easy with Landon. I remember I had some great talks with Landon. And then I started like I was really sick then. For Monday I just couldn't run at all. Tuesday it was a workout, but just terrible. And then on top of that I had an exam that night. So it was terrible. And then Wednesday I thought I was ready to come back, so I did like a 5-7 double ish. I guess it works out to 13 exactly. But yeah, I thought I just had congestion, and like, normally when that happens, like the sickness is on its way out, but turns out it wasn't, and it got even worse. Um yeah, ended up with a fever, low appetite for that whole week. Friday or Saturday, I finally came back. Wanted to do a little more on the treadmill, but my body just couldn't handle it. It was too weak. And then Sunday, instead of a long run, I just did 10 because I just couldn't do any more. Um, and then Monday, just a shuffle like normal. The map is totally goofed off here, but Tuesday's workout was 2 by 2K, 1K. And it was just the 2K was at LT and the K was at, I guess, like 3 flat ish. But, it was terrible. It's just super, like, as I said here, it was demotivating that I was struggling on like my 5K pace on a K rep. Like, it's tough. Okay, next day, 10. The day after that, 7. Easy. Then we had New Max, which was a 10K. Honestly, dealing with a ton there. So like these easy runs were tough. Like as you see here, like I said, it was mentally tough. Um, yeah, it's just tough on the body, tough on the mental. Like I don't know. At this stage in the season, like I just super like I don't know. Just super tired, super demotivated. Like yeah, just had very little energy to do anything. And then this 10K, man. Like so the like 2 days before I found out that I'm running, like I wasn't really expecting it since I'd been sick like that whole week leading up to it. And I had a test that morning. Um and like I was like scrambling around trying to figure out like what to do, like how was I gonna make up the tests? Was there a possibility for me to take it at the meet, stuff like that? And no, I ended up like it was just like super like mentally draining trying to like figure all those logistics out. And then yeah, basically it ended up like me having to miss the test completely, and like no makeups, and I had to like argue it out with the professor to try and like work a way around that. But yeah, so yeah, okay, enough about that. So I just did the 10K. First time ever doing it. It's sort of like our leagues meet, like a conference meet. Just I was told we were gonna like chill, maybe take some 80s off, but this guy from Coast Guard goes like right away. He goes, and then we just start going 75s. I'm like, brother. Um, so yeah, um, it was tough because we had a good group of MIT guys, and then um, basically around 3K ish, a couple of our guys start to break off, and me and Nate are sort of like stuck in no man's land, trying to work together, not get totally dropped. So yeah, and then Nate eventually drops me, and then I kind of just like tough it out, catch some people, and try and score some points for the team. And I ran 32:08 for 10K, so not bad. And then I remember the following day I was super sore, and then so basically we split the run into doubles. Did the first double with CB and Ichan, and then second basically by myself on the indoor or on the infield. Okay. The next was a long run with Nate and Ren and Landon. And then I took Monday fully off because it was getting to basically the end of the season. Tuesday, 9 by K at LT, which was 310s apparently down to 304. And I couldn't really hang with these guys because they started getting under 3. And it was just like, how is that even your LT, right? Like, I was like almost race effort. Next day, just 8 easy. And then 11. And the workout on Friday was 3 by 664 and then I went with Luke for the majority of it. He went over hurdles. You know, it's really bad when like you can barely hold your 5K pace indoors for a 600 rep. Like, isn't that just so sad? Just I don't even know what happened, man. Maybe it was just a long season, couldn't handle it. Uh, yeah. Then the next day, I just did a 10 miles really easy around the Charles. Then did like a solo 13-mile run for a Sunday. Then 3 shuffle on Monday, 3 shakeout on Tuesday, and then a workout. This one was 3 by K and then 5 by 4 and we had a huge train of guys going. They were going 67. They said to keep it 5K pace, and they started going 67. And you know, I was doing them at 70, and like, no way 67 is your 5K pace. Maybe it is for like 2 of them, but I don't know. Who are we kidding? So 5 and 5 double on Wednesday, and Tuesday 5-mile pre-meet. Friday 2-mile shakeout in the morning, and then we had the fire meet at Williams. You know, this whole week my body was pretty much just breaking apart. Like, starting Wednesday, my right knee started to like hurt a lot. So yeah, it was just pretty terrible in general. I was good through 3K. Good by good, I mean I was ticking like 72s, so like not even good, but pretty decent. And then this guy TJ as well, like who I used to race back in high school, he's from Penn Charter. He started going, and then like I just couldn't hang anymore. Like I don't even know what it was. So I ended up 15:21. As you can see, like I couldn't really put weight into my right knee. Just a disappointing season in general. Like, raced 4 times. I couldn't say I was happy with any of the races, except for maybe the 10K. Like, it was my first time trying it, but yeah, I can't say I was satisfied with like literally any of them. So, like slower than I've ever run, slower than like indoor, slower than like a flat 200-meter track. Like how? Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's just gonna be the season. Um, and yeah, I'll see you with the reflections. All right, y'all. So overall, that was the spring season. Pretty disappointing. So I actually had a call with my coach, um, just like recapping this year as a whole, and he asked me to like rate the season on like a letter scale, as if it was school, and I told him it was like a B, and for the main reason that like it was my first season, kind of transitioning from high school to college, and then also like I was able to finish the season without any like major injuries or like setbacks health wise, I guess. And yeah, I was able to learn a lot about just like being smart with training and like just figuring out like the day to day almost of balancing life as a student and also trying to like maximize my output in the world of running. This year it ended up as we had 6 freshmen and literally only 2 of us were healthy like at the end of the year, and I was one of them. So, you know, praise the Lord for that. But I'd say that's a minor success. Okay, so one more thing that my coach kind of touched on was like not to flip too many variables at once. Like as you saw earlier in that recap, I was jumping up to 85 in the spring, and maybe that wasn't like the most opportune time to do that jump because in the spring season like you're meant to like up the intensity kind of. It's like pretty much just like you shouldn't really be adding volume and intensity at the same time. So maybe that was one of the issues that caused me to ultimately burn out. Um, yeah. Uh, one like overall the spring didn't go too well for me. I can think of several reasons. Like it was super hard to like stay fully focused, like locked in year round, like just to pour that 110% effort in day out. And I did let my sleep kind of slip toward the end there. Yeah, I would like sometimes I would like settle for like 7.5 hours or even 7 hours, and it like largely it wasn't even because of like homework, but it was because like I started like I don't know. I started to fall into the trap of like getting too like addicted to my phone and scrolling reels at night. So, um, yeah, that was definitely one of the major reasons. And also like although school wasn't like the main reason, but school did get much harder. Since it was the second semester, we're no longer in PNR, and um, I was taking some significantly harder classes than I did my fall semester, and yeah, that's one more reason. And then, it was really tough for me, like mentally, toward the end of the spring season. Like, um, I hadn't PR'd since winter. I was sick. I was running like crap. I wasn't, like, even in the classroom, I wasn't doing well either. At least up to like my high standards for myself. But like it's just after a ton of like introspection, like I sort of needed to find like a different reason for running. Like before it was probably like this question wasn't really even on my mind. Because like when you're in the moment and you're PRing, not every race, but like you're PRing and you're feeling good on workouts, you're putting in the consistency, the consistent miles, consistent effort, all that. Um, like no minor injuries or ouchies to deal with, and like when it's all smooth sailing, you don't even consider like why you're running in the first place. And like once it got hard, the spring season, just like mentally, physically, yeah, I just had to find like a new kind of like outlook on why I'm even running in the first place, right? Because it's just taking so much time from me, and like no one wants to spend like 3 hours every day just to be like mid, you know, like I like you just don't want to settle for mediocrity, right? But yeah, I guess after a lot of um reflecting, I feel um you shouldn't like your reason for running really shouldn't be like being the top X on your team, like top seven on your team, or even beating beating people on other teams, um, or looking to PR every race because or running like fast times because like ultimately that's like not super fulfilling. I guess it's still kind of an open question for me, but um, I would say my answer to the question of the why am I running, why am I putting in all this work? Maybe it's just like I don't know. Maybe it's to make my past self proud, you know? Like 10-year-old me is still a swimmer. Like he would have never expected the Achilles of today to be like running at at MIT. Um, or even running, you know? Like I thought I was going to be a swimmer back then, but you know, God just changed my lanes and switched me to this sport. So maybe it's just to see what I can do for myself, just to like discover my own self potential. Maybe that's the why. But yeah, it's still kind of an open question, and maybe that's something that I have to explore more as I get older too. And yeah, so finally, I'll just end it with some takeaways for this summer and next year. This summer, I'm gonna be taking it super chill. I don't want to have it end up like I'm not gonna name my teammates, but some of my teammates they had stellar cross seasons. I'm talking about like 2450s or 2430s, 2420s, and then come track like indoor and outdoor, they just never really like got up to that level again. So I don't really want to burn out like physically like they did, or and mentally too. So um, this summer I kind of just want to take it like super chill, spend like zero mental energy into the sport of running and just log miles. Hopefully hit up to 85 to 90 miles. Okay, so I had to switch locations because my dad busted out the chainsaw. Started becoming really loud. But as I was saying, hopefully get up to 85 to 90 miles this summer and just take it chill, spend no mental energy. Because ultimately it is like an endurance thing. Like I don't want to put like 110 into cross and then just peter out for the rest of the year, especially with taking harder classes my sophomore year. And then, yeah, just really just hone in and find that reason for running. Yeah, just finding that school and running balance and life balance. And yeah, hopefully having a successful sophomore year. And yeah, right now, let me just lay out some of the times I want to shoot for. Um, but ultimately, like if I don't get reach those times, like I won't call it a failure because mark my words, I'm gonna put my 100 into this coming year, and yeah, we'll see what I can do, man. I'm excited. So in the 8K and cross, I want to try to get um under 25 if possible, or like just 25 low. I think that's a great goal. And then in track, indoor track, I want to be, let's see, I want to be under 8:30 for sure in the 3K, and then under 14:30 in the 5K. And then come outdoor, um, I'm gonna pray that I'm not burnt out at all. And then I'm gonna lay this out. It's very ambitious, but I'm gonna dip under 30 in the 10K. You heard it here, man. Those are the goals. Earlier, in my first spring or like outdoor meet at Providence, um, like I told you guys it was a late race and I had to stay like 9:30, and my coach was the rest of the team had already left on the bus and my coach was the only one there. And I told him in the car ride back, I was like, I kind of feel like I wasted your time. And he responded like really kindly. He said like, you should never feel like that. And but like he's like, as long as you gave your like 100 on the day, like that's good enough for him. But like looking back on it, like 100 on the day, that just isn't enough, right? Like, what about on the week? Were you 100 on the week? Like, did you give your 100 on that coming week? Did you give it in that month? Or did you give it in that whole year leading up? And like, I don't think I could confidently say that I did, right? Like, and ultimately, like, it might not be a waste of time for him, but for me, it is a waste of time because if I'm not giving my 100 and it's not like I'm running bad and I'm not giving my 100, like there's an obvious fix there, right? And that's just me wasting my own time. So yeah, just in this coming year, I just want to put it like set it down firm on paper that I will be giving my 100% this year. And yeah, I'm excited to see what I can do. We have an exciting group of freshmen coming in. We have like 8 recruits almost, and it's gonna be a really exciting season. We only lose one senior pretty much, and I'm excited. I'm really excited for what we can do. We're definitely gonna be a sleeper team to watch out for, and I hope to be up there in the top 7 contributing. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.